Hawkeye Report. Kirk, your old boss is joining college football,
Yeah.
Bill Belichick. What are your thoughts on Bill becoming a college coach? Did he reach out to you about what the environment's like? Anything?
No, not really. I think he's got first-hand exposure, certainly. As you know, his son is coaching at the University of Washington. I was out here on the field back a couple of months ago. So I think, I know he spent time up there with Steve, and, I think he's got first-hand exposure live and in person. And, but he also knows the college game from going around scouting, talking to college coaches frequently regarding prospects, that type of thing. And to me, what it says is he loves coaching. I think that's pretty evident. And the other logical thing, if you watch his press conference, he talked a little bit about his dad. His dad was a career college coach at Naval Academy. Most of his career was at Naval Academy. Coincidentally, a couple of years at UNC, which is interesting. And so I don't know if it was fate or not, but I got to know his dad. His dad was just an amazing person. And you can see where Bill's love for football came from, because his dad was all about football all the time. I remember catching him in, it was one of the last conventions I was at probably 20 years ago, but anyway, I was having a refreshment with a friend of mine, saw him coming in, going to the elevator. It's like 11 o'clock, and at this time I think he was probably about 85 years old. He's at the convention. And so I ran over just to say hello to him, figuring it'd be a quick, how do you do, all that stuff. And we stood there for an hour. He's quizzing me about special teams and just going right down the list. So that love and passion for football, I think, probably stems right from that. And then, football's football, pro, college, or high school. If you're coaching and you love coaching. So I'm not surprised at all. I think it's really probably a genius move by the people at UNC.
Tyler Tashman with the Des Moines Register. Hank Brown, what was it about him that I guess kind of led you to pursue him in the portal, and what do you feel like he can bring to the team?
Yeah, I mean, it's like anything you do in the portal. I think if you go to the portal, you're trying to improve your depth and trying to improve the level of competition at any given position. And I mean, obviously, we're a little thin at that spot right now, body-wise, and need some guys that we think have a chance to really develop and grow. And so I know Tim has been really thorough with his evaluations on everybody, including high school film, and that was a big part of the evaluation, going back and watching all the prospects that we look at in high school, and then following it to whatever college tape may be there. And I think the things that Tim's looking for, he found that with Hank. And then the other key component is, what's it going to be like when we meet the prospect and his family and those types of things, and how we feel they're going to fit in the program, and then vice versa. It's got to be a mutual deal. So I feel really good about it. I think it's we're excited about it. And again, he's not going to play in this game, but we're going to add to the competition here in the spring and see how it goes. And both he and Jimmy Sullivan will be part of that.
Blake Hornstein, Hawkeye Headquarters. Coach, Iowa's the only football program in America with 6 consensus All-Americans in the last, or excuse me, each of the last 6 years you've had a consensus All-American. First of all, what is it that those guys on the wall have in common? And then second, what does it say about your program to have this many guys reach that top level of college football?
Yeah, I probably should look over there and cheat, because Torrey last year would be one of the guys. But I think it's fair in saying, we don't get a lot of 5-star guys that just, unless their dads played here, or it's probably about the best chance we got. Maybe a brother played here. I guess we've had that too. But otherwise, it's just not where we recruit typically. But as I said at the front end, it's about getting guys that have the right attitude and hopefully have a skill set that can be developed. Mentioned the height bar. Bob Sanders was never going to be able to get on the roller coaster in Kennywood Park back in Pittsburgh, but he could play strong safety pretty good for us, and he played it pretty well in the NFL too, all at 5'8". So, and if we were going by the bar, if other people didn't go by the bar, he would have gone to Penn State. So that's one thing I learned in the 80s. Good players come in all sizes and shapes, but it's the commonality of the guys that are over on that wall are guys that really had a lot of pride and they didn't mind working. And sometimes, they had to be patient, like Jay. Jay sat for a while watching other good players play, and that's really the secret at any level for somebody being good. Is just putting that work in. You've got to have requisite ability. You can't do it, just by chance. But I think it's the attitude, just ability to work hard, persevere, all the things that football teach you. Those things all come out in good form for those guys.
William and John. Hey, Kirk, Elliott Clough, Hawkeye Beacon. First part, no Reese Vanderzee on the depth chart. Is he going to be available?
He's good, yeah. I don't know when we wrote that depth chart, quite frankly. It's probably about 8 months ago. But yeah, he's fine. He's practicing well and seems, in fact, one of the last questions I had coming off the field last night was how you feel. He just happened to be going by. I mean, he feels great. So he'll be in the rotation.
Cool. To the second part, just Hank Brown so far via the portal. You comfortable with where you're at in terms of additions via the portal?
Yes, I mean, so far it's a process, as you know. A lot of people are traveling around, and I guess it all comes to an end Sunday, I think. Seems like it's been a long journey, but yeah, I mean, it's not hard to predict. It's impossible to predict. So I think we're in a good position, and we'll do our due diligence, and if it works, it works. Players we're involved with, and if not, so be it. But we got a couple more visitors coming here, I guess, before Sunday, and as far as I know, we're done Sunday. That could change, but yeah, so I think we're comfortable right now.
John Seppi at the Gazette. Kind of now we're in however many years of the portal now. Kind of anything that you would change about kind of the way that this works?
How long do we have?
However long you want to have.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm an optimist. I think we're moving in the right direction. Being college football, the real question, I think the proposed model right now is solid. The question is, can we enforce it? Can we really make it a reality? I'll believe that when I see it. But, I mean, I've been saying this for a while, especially after being in the NFL. One thing the NFL has perfect clarity in terms of what you can do, what you can't do. Also have a collective bargaining agreement, so that makes it a little bit easier. But everybody's under contract in the NFL, coaches and players in their binding contracts. So, if the coffee's not good on Tuesday, I can't just leave and go to the next team because my feelings got hurt about the coffee. So you sign a deal and then you live that deal out, or you sit. And the harsh reality in the NFL is like they can pay you to sit. They don't do it with players too often, but coaches they'll do. Since we're not a big expense item. So, but anyway, what we need is some structure and clarity, and I think everybody should be able to sign on, and you could argue the same thing about coaches, I guess, but sign on and then live by the binding agreement. But right now there's way too much. People can change their minds really fast and move on, and it's really disruptive to everybody. Quite frankly, I don't think it's fair to everybody. So just having structure would be nice, and then enforcement in the NFL is very consistent all across the board. Everybody plays by the same rules, and that's the utopia of we're never going to get that in college football. But salary cap, which I think we're kind of getting there. If we could enforce it, we're getting there, and that'll be a great start. And then again, I think there's got to be, if you say you're going to do this, then you got to do it for a prescribed. I'm not talking about life sentence, but a prescribed, whatever you agree to write on a contract, then do it, live it out.
Ethan featured Quad City Times. You called the 105 roster cap number regrettable.
Yeah.
We've seen some of the casualties.
That's a euphemism, right? Is
Yeah.
that what euphemisms are? Yeah.
We've seen some of the casualties of the 105 roster cap. What was the process like of going through those discussions and getting your roster down to 105, and where do you stand on that ruling?
It's been the hardest part of this month, and it could have been so easily avoided if we just stair-stepped it. And I know, I'm sure it was a financial decision. Nobody asked me for my opinion or fill me in on the details, but I'm sure it was a financial decision like everything we do. I would argue that you could have, whatever the dollar amount was, kept it the same and spread it, let's say 120 or 118, spread it amongst 118 instead of 105. And not have bloodletting, and that's the regrettable part in my mind. So we basically, there's a couple ways to do it, and I don't know what other people are doing. I've heard other people approaching it differently. But we felt very strongly as a staff that, we owed it to any player that might be in jeopardy to let them know the week following our last game what the status was, and give them an opportunity to go out and, prepare for whatever they want to prepare for. And we've had guys leave the program at that point. They've left the program. We've had other guys who are going to go to other places, but they're staying with the program throughout the bowl. Everybody's getting bowl gifts and all that stuff. Everybody had the opportunity to stay with us and go to the bowl site and be part of this, finish out the season with us as a team member. And then also, they had the option of doing whatever they want to do. We've had some guys leave and already find other homes. So we just felt like, it's the right thing to do to give everybody a chance to at least, if they want to prepare for the future, do it. If they want to stay here, that's great too. But it just, it was hard. That's hard. And then, the whole next chapter is going to be really interesting too, because practice with 108 guys, 105 guys in college football. This is not the NFL. Nobody's even brought up what happens if a guy has a season-ending injury. We can't go out and bring somebody in to replace that guy. So it makes practice a challenge. It makes developing a team a challenge. And those are questions and discussions for post-January. But I'm not looking forward to that because it's going to. I think it impacts a program like ours more so than people that recruit 5-star athletes every year because they're a little bit more ready-made. And, it's just. But that's the way it goes. We'll figure out a way to make it an advantage.